Hello and welcome back to Uncle Matt's Cookery Lessons. Gonna make some choux pastry and chocolate éclairs. Delicious. You'll see me in a minute point you through the different ingredients, but they were on the recipe. So while I'm doing that, I'll just explain that I did a previous video where I made choux pastry. I wasn't very happy with it, so I deleted it and I thought I'd have another crack and do a much better job. And I also found a recipe for a much nicer way of doing the chocolate topping. So a couple of reasons there, and I hope you enjoy this one. The process is really quite simple. All you need to do is melt the butter into the water and a little bit of sugar. Well, so that process takes a few minutes, so I sped that up. Once you got to this stage, the next step is to dump in the flour. And this is just a regular plain flour. In the States, I think you call that all-purpose flour. Start off slow because you don't want to be wearing this. That'll be very hot. But then once you've got this together to like a roux, you keep stirring it over a low to medium heat until you're happy that you've got all of the flour combined. And then it starts to get a bit glossy and it will sort of look as though it wants to form a ball. And I'll come back to you when we've reached that point. So this stage is cooling down the roux. If you add the eggs into this very hot mixture, it's going to cook the eggs and you won't get a good choux pastry. What I do most of the time is just pop it in the machine with a paddle and let that slowly work on it until it stops steaming. And I'm glad my camera has picked up the steam, so you'll be able to see at that point that's a natural process to when you start putting in your eggs. If you don't have one of these, you can just leave it on the side until it's cooled down. You can put it on a tray in the fridge, whatever. It's up to you. And then if you haven't got one of these machines, you just put this in a bowl and you mix it by hand, one by one, the eggs. Cold eggs from the fridge, one at a time. What I do is I stop the machine in between because you want to see someone panic after they've dropped an egg with a whole eggshell and the machine's smashing up the eggshell. No, not good. Start again time. So I've learnt my lesson. One egg, one after another. Feel free to crack your eggs into a jug or something if you like that way and just pour them in, but still one at a time. So anyway, however you decide to do it, it'll be fine. There we go, we're just about there. You see that sort of consistency, dropping consistency, that's just about perfect. If you've let your mixture go cold and you put your eggs in, it will be firmer. It will still work as a choux pastry. It'll just be a bit harder to squeeze it through your piping bag. You'll need some serious hand strength. Anyway, what I've got on my mat is one of those silicone baking sheets. They're heavy, they're very useful if you do a lot of baking. If you don't have one of those, some baking parchment. I would recommend that instead of greaseproof. These might stick to greaseproof. And if you do use a baking parchment, you probably want to just put a few little dollops of the pastry mixture underneath the paper so that it helps it stick to the tray. Otherwise the fan in your oven is going to blow that around a bit. There you go, useful tip for you. You're welcome. Don't overfill your bag. The more you put in there, the harder it is to do this. You pick the size and the shape that you want. You could make like profiteroles as well with these. It's completely up to you. I'm going a few inches long. The technique I do though is try to be steady when you're squeezing and piping, and when you've reached the end you stop squeezing, stay still for a moment and then flick it up. There you go. I'll show you this way, you'll get a better look at it. So pick an even stream, stop and flick. Lovely, quite pleased with those actually. The next step is just the bits that are sticking up. If you want to be pedantic like me, you can just sort of wet finger and just flatten it down just a tad. And that bit of water also creates a bit of steam in the oven, which is very useful when you're doing these because it's a bit like making bread as well. This is almost there. I'm just going to demonstrate to you that they need about another 5 minutes. That's after about 15 minutes. Not quite firm enough. So back in. Another 5 minutes or so. That's lovely. Nice and crispy. You know they're going to hold their shape now. Before, when they came out, they looked like they were almost ready, but they would have sunk, they would have deflated. These are going to hold their shape now. At the end of the day, we're going to fill these with cream as well, so it's pretty fail-safe, really. Time to make the chocolate topping. Now, in the past, I've only ever just melted chocolate and then dipped them in the melted chocolate, and you get a very hard, crispy topping, which is nice. But I'm going to say now, this way is much better. Very happy with this. You've still got to melt the chocolate, so that means over a pan of simmering water. Make sure the water's not so deep in a pan. You don't want it touching the bottom of the bowl. That's going to be too hot, and you might burn your chocolate. So, it takes a few minutes. Be patient. Now the recipe does require you add some water to this, and I'm just going to say you're going to have to just use your judgment. I've already put a splash of water in this, and to be honest with you, I was always told don't mix chocolate and water. It's not a good idea. But I'm going with it for this recipe, and I'm thinking the whole time I can always just go down the shop and get some more chocolate. No one will know. I'll just edit it out of the video. But you'll see as I'm still making it, it worked out. So what I'm going to do now is... Where has he gone? Come on. Right. Cocoa powder and icing sugar. Get that in. And I really am thinking at this stage, this isn't good. This really doesn't look right. But persevere. It's going to come together. Have some faith. I think this might be a good time to put a bit more water in, Chef. Come on. Okay, so hot water from the pan. That's probably, I mean, using a ladle, that's probably about a tablespoon. No, probably a bit less. You just got to judge this yourself, I'm afraid. I do believe it's working, chap. Big sigh of relief. So basically, I'm going to keep working on this. We're going to get a beautiful, glossy chocolate sauce. You don't want to make it so saucy that it won't firm up in the fridge. When these are done, when they're cooled down in the fridge, that chocolate's got to be set enough so that it's not going to be all sticky. So, yeah. The recipe says about 4 tablespoons. I'll put it on the front there. It's approximate. You be the judge. So that was it. You see the consistency? Try to go for that. You can cling film that. You can just, or put a plate over it, but keep it warm. Turn the water off so that it's not boiling anymore. Okay, you want to just keep that warm while you're whipping your cream, and by all means use your mixing machine. You'll whip the cream a lot more quickly than this way. But mine was still dirty and I hadn't washed it up yet. That is vanilla extract syrup. You can use whatever you want. You use fresh vanilla bean, no vanilla. You could put orange blossom in there. You know, this is where you get creative. You could put a little bit of very, very strong coffee in there. That would be delicious. It's up to you. Now we're not looking for very, very stiff peak. We're looking for a sort of somewhere between soft peak and stiff peak. We've got to be able to pipe this stuff. Okay? If it's so thick, it's going to struggle to get through the small hole in your nozzle. Perfect. So now we've got to make holes in the pastry. I would say right now the best thing to do would be to try to create a hole at either end so that you can pipe through, and you can use both ends to pipe into. What I was doing here was making a proper hole to pipe it in and then just stabbing, so it's going to help the air flow so it doesn't clog as it goes through. Sometimes they split like that one. It doesn't really matter. If these look a bit rustic and homemade, even more evidence that you've done it yourself, eh? Anyway, you don't need to see me do all of those. Let's fill them. Again, don't overfill your piping bag. If you want to buy those disposable plastic ones, that's absolutely fine. You can fill that up and then just make a small snip at the end. You want a fairly small hole so that it'll fit into your éclair, but not so small that you can't push the cream through. It's quite technical. Sorry about that. Can't help that. Can't be helped. There you go. I was waiting just to see if the cream was going to come out okay. It was. And I am having to squeeze this quite hard. You can see one of my fingers changing colour. This wasn't easy. I'm not going to pretend it was easy. I wish I had a slightly larger nozzle to use for this bit. Anyway, you get the point. It's time to coat them in chocolate, and this is probably the best way. Get a firm grip on them. Give it a really good dunk in there. Let a bit extra fall off. Well, you can see what I'm doing, can't you? But it is really as simple as that. If you've got chocolate left over at the end of this, what you could do is you could freeze that down, cool that down, chop it up into small little pieces, and then make quite nice little chocolate truffles. And there you go. Those have had about an hour in the fridge. Gorgeous. I'm very happy with those. So thank you again for watching Uncle Matt's Cookery Lessons. I hope you enjoy this one. If you do, please give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. It will help my channel grow. And check me out in the next video, which will be coming very soon. Bye.